Hey guys, here to do my review for Suicide Squad. Hey guys, so this is sort of going to be a spoilery review. So proceed with caution. If you haven't seen the movie, I would probably say wait until you do to watch this, but hopefully by now you've seen the movie and all that kind of stuff. Um, I was so conflicted going into this movie. In fact, up until I actually got in the car and was on my way to the theater to see it, I was honestly kind of thinking about not even seeing it in the theater and just waiting to see this movie until it came out on Blu-ray because of all the mixed reviews. Because I'm pretty good. I'm one of those people that I'm pretty good at judging from other people's reactions to things, like what my reaction will be. Like just because Joe says he doesn't like something, that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to like it. But I can judge accordingly to, like, okay, what are the things that he didn't and did like about the movie? Okay, well, I can judge pretty good. And so I was really worried because I was actually one of the people that came out of the theatrical BVS really enjoying it. It definitely had its flaws, it definitely had its problems, and I think most of those problems were fixed with the Ultimate Edition, but I really enjoyed it. So knowing that it was kind of reversed, I feel like, for Suicide Squad, because the people who didn't really like BVS really liked Suicide Squad, and the people that liked Suicide Squad really didn't like BVS, and I really like BVS. So I kind of felt like going into this, I wasn't going to enjoy it. So with all that said, I really had a good time with this movie. I really, really enjoyed this movie. It's. I do think that there's a lot of reviewers out there and a lot of people that are maybe a little bit too harsh on the movie. But as it's said all over YouTube or anywhere you go when you look at movies, the great thing about movies are they're subjective and we all feel differently about it, and that's okay. So here's my take on Suicide Squad. Let's finally get to the meat of this. I would go see it again in the theater. I thought it was really good. The music didn't bother me at all. I know a lot of the reviews I watched, there was a lot of concern about, because it was really like, hey, let's see how many popular songs we can fit into a movie. And yeah, there were a lot of songs in this movie, but I don't feel like it took away from it. I felt like actually 90% of the time it added to it. Yeah, there was maybe one, maybe two moments in the movie where it was like, okay, yeah, you could have just had score here and it would have been a little bit more to my liking. But even the fact that they didn't have it in those moments, it didn't take away from the movie for me. It was still so really enjoyable. Um, my main thing going into this movie was the Joker, because when I heard a lot of people saying that, like, most of his scenes were cut, that even Leto himself was unhappy about the final product. When you see certain things like that, I was really worried. And I'm gonna say, you know what? I think the Joker is in this movie the perfect amount. I don't think he needed to be in it any more than he was. With that being said, if the David Ayer version of the movie or the director's cut of the movie is ever released, I'll definitely watch it and I'll be interested to see the scenes that were cut and how different it is from the theatrical version. But, like, I really liked the arc of the Joker in this movie, and I really liked the way they used him. And I really, really liked Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Like, I hope we get to see her more in the DC universe because she was fantastic. And the two of them together was marvelous. So good. Um, so, without getting too spoilery, something I didn't expect was I really liked the the storyline for Deadshot. Will Smith, as always, just completely crushes his role. It's really, really great. Um, I loved the Flash cameo in it. I loved how Batman was incorporated to the film. But if I had one or two complaints, I'll say two. I'll say both of them. My two complaints with the movie is this. Number one, Killer Croc. Without going into what happens, I don't really think that you really needed him. And I really didn't like the portrayal of him. Um, yeah. He could have easily just not been in the movie, and I wouldn't have noticed. Um, don't get me wrong, he's got a few really funny lines, and it's not anything against the actor or anything like that. It's that I feel like he's one of those things where going into it, you kind of think that he'll probably get like his fair share of time and that he's got like a really integral role to what's going on. But then you see kind of what happens and it's like, yeah, well, he's kind of pointless. He really doesn't need to be there. He doesn't really do much, in my opinion. So that was kind of that's one negative I have. The other one is, yeah, as much fun as I had with this movie, the story is kind of typical. Not gonna lie. It's not anything that. It's kind of like in a completely different movie universe. It's how I feel a lot like with Star Trek Beyond. If you go watch that review that I did. Because both of these movies are done really well, I think, for the story that they're told. You know? But it's not anything new. These are things that you've seen before. It's just done with different characters. And that's what makes it enjoyable. If you put these run-of-the-mill characters in there, it probably would be different. But I really enjoyed the movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely go check it out. If you're on the fence, go see it. I can tell you definitively, go see this movie. You're going to kick yourself in the butt if you don't. So, that said, sorry for this being a little bit longer, but I wanted to get all my thoughts out there because there's been so much stuff about this movie. And if I didn't touch on anything that you want me to touch on, just ask, and I'll definitely will make another video. But this is my review for Suicide Squad. I enjoyed it. Go see it. 7 out of 10. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and please subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.